Hello all, welcome to this session on actions in Tableau. Again, there are multiple reasons why we actually make use of actions in Tableau. One thing that I wanted to mention is that these actions are something that you can make use of it both in your worksheet as well as in the dashboards. First, let us try to understand why we actually use an actions or when to use an actions. So the scenario is the same example that we have seen in our previous session. Like, the owner is, I mean, suddenly he is understanding that the sales of his product is completely diminishing. And he just wanted to, analyze why this kind of sales diminishment is there. Because of that reason, he calls up his manager and then he just wanted to find out what's the day wise sales. So now the manager has got his own visualization and he has come up to the owner to show some sort of visualization. He is showing the visualization, but this interaction between this owner and the manager will become really, really interesting. Not only interesting, but also, taking a kind of strategic decisions will become easy if in case the visualization that is being done by the manager looks interactive to the owner. So owner is in a position to just go to this visualization and he is able to dynamically interact with the dashboard that the manager is giving to him. Then it would be really meaningful. So how can we go ahead and perform this? This is where action comes into play. In case if the manager wanted to present a visualization which is completely dynamic and interactive, both in dashboards as well as in the worksheets, if he wanted to achieve an interactivity or dynamism, then comes the concept of actions basically. So when to use actions is definitely, if in case if you wanted your worksheet or your dashboard to become interactive is one thing, or otherwise the audience, in our case the audience is supposed to be the owner. So in the owner can actually again interact with the visualization which is being made, and he is able to drill down what is the content is there. Okay, so when he is able to drill down what he is expecting, naturally the work becomes like lighter. So because of these reasons, we can make use of a concept called as actions in Tableau, a very interesting feature which is available in Tableau. And when it comes to actions, okay, now you might be having a question like, okay, you are achieving interactivity and also dynamism, you are achieving it. Fine. But what is an action? Action is nothing but you try to do, you have a visualization. Okay, when I show you, you can understand it better. But for theoretically, in case you have a sheet, okay, and in that sheet if you click on certain things, you can see something like when you click on that, a complete detailed feature about the clicked on content is getting displayed in another page. Okay, so one page to another page, the details of what you clicked is getting displayed. That's what you call it as an action. So when you click on something in a visualization, something is going to happen. Or when you hover on something which is there in the worksheet, something else is going to happen. Okay, so this is what you call it as an action. Now, the type of actions in Tableau can be categorized into three. In terms of filter, you can perform an action. In terms of URL, you can perform an action, which you can find this URL option only in the previous versions. But in 2020, like what I'm going to show you, the Tableau recent version, you do not have an option for a URL. Okay, and you have highlight. So using these three things, in fact, we can create our actions. So we got an idea like how what is an action, what are the different types of actions which is available, how it is going to help somebody if they wanted to use an action in their visualization. So you can understand this better only if you will see how the actions is going to work. So let's get into our Tableau environment to understand how we can create an actions. All right, So let us get into the Tableau environment. So this is our Tableau environment. As you can see, a global superstore data is what you're going to consider it. And this data is being connected. Now I'm there in my sheets. So first thing what I'm going to do is that, first of all, I told you that when you wanted to observe actions, what you require is 2 sheets, because in the first sheet you perform some action. The resultant of that is going to be seen in the second sheet. Okay, so let me just create one more sheet here. Okay, and then I'm just renaming my sales sheets. So I'm just keeping it as sales 1 is the first sheet, and then I'm going to keep my second sheet as sales 2. Okay, so there are 2 sheets now available with us. Now what I'm going to do in my sales 1 is that I'm just going to drag my category into my columns, and then I'm going to drag my sum of sales in my rows. Okay, so you get some kind of visualization. Fine. Now I'm going to go to my sales 2. In sales 2 also, I'm going to perform the same thing. Like category is going to be there in my columns, and then I'm going to keep my sales in my rows. Okay, so you have the same type of visualization. So actually, what sort of visualization is there right now? We do not want to concentrate. It's just because of the reason we wanted to understand how these actions are happening. Now let us go to worksheet. You have an option called as actions. Just click on that actions. Okay, now here you have something called as, okay, you can select on this sheet or this workbook. Okay, so I'm just keeping it as this workbook. And then as I said, you will not have a URL option here. So first let us try to understand how this filter is happening. So what I'm trying to add is I'm trying to add a filter action. Okay, so this is my source sheet and this is my destinations sheet. Okay, so I'm just renaming it as filter work. Okay, and then here I need to select my source is supposed to be my sales 1. Then I'm going to keep my target as sales 2. Done. Now here you can select which action you wanted to perform. As of now, I'll keep the action as select. Okay, and it is going to display, whether it is going to display all the fields or you wanted to display selected fields, you can use that. If you click a selected fields, this here it will allow you to select the fields. Okay, so that you can do it, but as of now I'll keep it as all fields and then click on OK. So once it is done, the filter work is being created. So an action for filtering out is what we have done it, and then click on OK. Okay, now what we have done is that we have created an action. You go somewhere, like any place in your visualization, you go, just perform one click. Okay, you can see that it is automatically going to the second page and it is showing the furniture alone for me. Okay, try to understand one more time. I'm just going to my sales and then I'm just clicking on technology. You can see that in the second sheet the technology is getting selected. So this is the way you can make use of actions. Very simple type of actions that we have done. So what we have done is we just click on something which is there in my sheet 1. You can see that something else is happening in my sales 2. Okay, so this is the way typically you can make use of your actions. Now let us explore the other options as well. So we have actions. You already have these actions, right? So I just wanted to, edit this. So what I'm going to edit is that instead of a selection, I'm going to select the action as hover. Okay, and then I'm just clicking on it, and then I'm clicking on an OK. So now I just hover it, then you can see that it is automatically happening. I'm not doing anything, I'm not doing any clicking. See here, I just keep it here, it is taking to my next page. So that is the meaning of your hovering. Okay, so similarly you can actually go ahead and perform, we can edit it and show the other actions as well. So you have something called as a menu here. So you can select a menu here and then click on OK, and this is OK. Okay. So now what happens is that, see here, you just keep your cursor over here. It just give as an option to this one. Okay. So this is the filter that we have created, and it gives a kind of hyperlink. So you just can click on this hyperlink that will take us to the next page. Okay. So this is the way you can actually create your actions in your worksheet. All right. So we have created actually, we have explored almost all of the actions which is available in your worksheet. Okay. So these are the three different categories of actions that could be useful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this filter. For filter action, I just removed it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that I just wanted to show you how this highlight is also working. Okay. So for which what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to keep the category and the sum of sales here. And then I'm just going to keep the market over here. Okay. So now I'm just coloring this just because we can see different kind of things. Okay. Now in my sales too, what I'm going to do is that I'm just keeping a category and the sum of sales, as well as I'm going to keep my subcategory also. Okay. And here also, I'm just going to keep the market. Okay. I'm just going to keep the market, and then I'm just keeping it as, I'm just color coding it. So let me just color code it. Okay. Now you can understand that two sheets are there. Contents are completely different. Okay, there is one more category which is subcategory is added over here. Okay, now what we wanted to do is that we wanted to create an action which is basically a highlighting kind of action. So I'll just go to add action, then I'm going to click on highlight. Okay, I have clicked on highlight. Now I'm going to say that it is a highlight action. Okay, so my source is going to be sales 1 and my target is going to be sales 2. Okay, and then I'm just keeping my action as select itself, and target highlighting, you just wanted to display dates and times. Let's keep it like this, and then click on OK. So now our action is created. Now click on OK. Okay, so now what we have done is we just have done a selection. Okay, so once we have done our selection, so what it is going to do is that it is actually helping us to go to our, if you will see, go to your next one. Okay, so let me just go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, so let us just go back to our actions. Okay, and then edit it. Okay, let me just keep all the fields here, and then probably I'll keep a menu here. Click on OK and OK. Okay, so now let me just go to my sales. Okay, and then I'm just clicking on it. Yes, highlight action is here. So just I'm clicking on the highlight action. So you can observe that in sales too. See here, all of these things has been highlighted. Okay, so you might be wondering as like, whether this could be useful, like, highlight, you just wanted to highlight few things in your visualization, having two sheets, and then you try to show some kind of visualization. Actually, it doesn't make any sense for you if you will have it in the worksheet form. So what we can do is that I'll just remove this action also. What I'm going to do is that I'm just going to show you that we can actually, I'm just going to remove this sheet as well. Okay, so now what I have is I just have one sheet. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to create a dashboard here. Okay, so now the sheet is sales 1 is the sheet. If I drag in, I'm getting the same thing. Okay, now I can create an action from worksheet to dashboard. I can create an action. Okay, so now I have it in dashboard, and then click on actions. Okay, so now also you can create an action, like, whether it is a filtering or a highlighting. So I have created this. Source will be my sales 1, and then my target is going to be my dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to select all fields, and then I'll choose a menu here, click on OK. So now dashboard action is basically created. Okay, so now I'm going to my sales one. Just I'm doing a clicking on, it is showing my highlight one. If I click on highlight one, okay, so I can see that in my dashboard. Okay, so you can actually perform this kind of actions between dashboard to dashboard, worksheet to worksheet, and worksheet to dashboard, dashboard to worksheet. Okay, in any way you can actually perform the different types of actions. So with this demo, what we have got an idea is that dashboards are, the actions that we can perform using your worksheet or your dashboards is going to be really, really helpful for you. In case if you wanted your user to have an interactivity with the visualization that you have created. Okay, so suppose if, for example, if your manager is seeing your dashboard, and from the dashboard he's clicking on something, some action he's clicking on it, and the resultant is going to be shown in other worksheet. Okay, he do not have to go to the other worksheet to observe what changes it is happening when I click when I have to see this particular region sales. He doesn't have to go ahead and do multiple kind of jobs. So in that sense it is going to help us to simplify the process for the audience. Okay, so in this way, the actions are definitely useful feature which is available in your Tableau, and we have seen almost all of the interesting actions that we can um, do with respect to the Tableau. So that's all for this session. Let me meet you in the next session on latitude and longitude. Thank you.